Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be testing out and comparing the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette and the Alter Ego Aurora palette. This is Alter Ego's newest palette. If you guys are not aware, Alter Ego is kind of a dupe brand, so they do dupe a lot of high-end palettes, a lot from Natasha Denona and Huda Beauty, and they're a really good company. They're not shady, sketchy, not at all. I know some people are not really a fan of dupe brands, but I think that they are actually really good if you guys can't afford the crazy prices of Natasha Denona and Huda and Pat McGrath and all those. That can be really up there for eyeshadows. I haven't really had a chance to really dive into their palettes and compare them with their dupes, so I thought this would be a fun one today to test out, and I was really surprised. I have one eye with the Natasha and one eye with the Alter Ego, so let me know which one you think is which, because I feel like they look really similar. I'm going to go over a little bit about the palette, show swatches, and then we'll do a little get ready with me with the palettes, and I'll go over my thoughts at the end. So with this, the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, this retails for $65. It is a cheaper Natasha Denona palette because the pan sizes are smaller than their typical ones, so this one's only $65. Usually her big palettes are like in the $100 range, and it weighs 19.25 grams, while the Alter Ego, on the other hand, is $16 and it weighs 15 grams, so a little bit less. So I want to show you guys the inside here. Okay, so on the top is the Aurora, on the bottom is Natasha. The shades are the same shades, they're just kind of mixed up a little bit differently, so it's not the exact same color story. I actually kind of like the color story better, how Aurora has it. I feel like it makes more sense to have like the lighter shimmers on the top. This one is kind of jumbled all over the place, so I do enjoy that layout better, but as you can see, the shades are very similar. They do have the same colors in them, just rearranged a little bit different. And then I did swatch everything, so I will insert the swatches right here. So they swatched very similar, which I was shocked on the hands. There was some slight differences, like sometimes the Aurora palette would swatch a little bit lighter than the Natasha and didn't have quite as much pigment, but I feel like you can kind of double that and make it to the same pigment as the Natasha. So I don't know, I feel like they swatched really similar. Some of the mattes were a little bit powdery compared to Natasha's formula, but they were like almost identical, I thought, for swatching. So now I'm going to go ahead and do a look with both palettes, and we'll do one eye with Natasha, one with the Alter Ego, and see how they are and kind of see how they perform. As you can kind of already tell, they came out really similar, so I was pretty impressed by that, but I'll go ahead and show you guys me applying the eyeshadows. We're going to do Natasha first on this eye, and the first shade I'm take is Morgan. And this one has really great pigment. The shadows blend really nice and feel really good on the lids. They're not like powdery or anything like that, so I always love Natasha's quality. Then going in with the Aurora from Alter Ego, we're going to take the color Star here, which seems to be the same on a different brush, of course. And then we'll blend this. This one does have a lot more fallout, I notice. But essentially we can get the same color. This one's easy to dupe since it's a light shade. I didn't get quite as much pigment as my Natasha, but I can definitely build it up to that same intensity. The shadows in this one aren't as smooth as Natasha's, but I feel like they are very similar. I feel like that actually looks a little bit different. So I'm going to go back to my Natasha and build that up a little bit more. Okay, so now I feel like they look pretty similar. With Natasha, we are going in with Citrine, this yellow. I really want to see how this color performs in both palettes, which is also going to go in the crease. I love just like mustardy yellow shades, my fave. Then we'll go into Sunburst in the Aurora palette. I'm definitely not seeing the color here. Okay, there we go. I picked up a little bit more product, and now it's kind of just making that a lot deeper. So this one's a little bit lighter, but now those two colors kind of mixed, and it's like this kind of like macaroni orange color, but it's actually more pigmented than Natasha. But I think my brush was a little bit more dense too, so that could be playing a part. I should probably switch brushes here, so I grabbed a more dense brush so it was more of an equal shot, and now I'm adding more into my Natasha side to make them even. Next, we're gonna do something in the outer corner, so I want to we're gonna go in with Jasper from Natasha and put that in the outer corner. That one was pretty pigmented. And then in Aurora, we will take Flare. This one doesn't have quite as much fallout as some of the other shades in the palette, so that's good. But I do notice with this one, it just doesn't place quite as much product onto the lid. So I'm going to go in, I think, just a little bit more. Alright, that looks better. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Clove from Natasha, this burgundy, and also add that into the outer corner. And we'll do Twilight from the Aurora Alter Ego. Next, we'll go into Dayspring from the Natasha Denona Sunrise, and I did wet my brush a little bit. And we're just going to place this on the lid in like the middle and the inner corner. And from Aurora, we will use Luminary. Now, this shade is the first I noticed a really big difference. This one's more of like a kind of smooth metallic, but the Natasha has more like glittery. It's like more a little chunkier. In the lower lash line, I'm going to take the shade Philox, I think, up here, this red sparkle, and put that just to kind of smoke out the lower lash line. So I think Ray is supposed to be the dupe. It looks a little bit brighter though in the Alter Ego. But we will go ahead and apply that. That one goes on really nice. I'm going to put some mascara on and I'll be right back. Alright guys, since I have the rest of my makeup on, I'll go ahead and give you guys a close-up so you guys can see. Once again, this side is Alter Ego and this side is Natasha. When I'm looking here, I've kind of blended everything together. They look pretty much identical. This one actually has a little bit more kind of pigment in the outer corner. The Natashas were a little bit more, I would say, blendable, so I should have built this side up a little bit more, but overall I feel like they look pretty good, pretty identical. There's just some few slight differences in the formulas and the blending, and with the Alter Ego I had to go in sometimes twice, or in the Natasha I didn't have to go in. I could do just once, but and then of course the shimmers, the Natasha's ones are a little bit more, they pop more and they're a little bit more like chunky, if that makes sense, so they have more glitter to them, while the Alter Ego ones are more like smooth. So that's kind of the differences, but overall I feel like our look looks pretty much the same. I don't think anyone would look at me and be like, are you wearing two different palettes on your eyes? I think they would assume it's the same look. Alright, so for my final thoughts, I'm actually really impressed with this one. I feel like this is a great dupe for the Natasha if you kind of don't want to splurge on that $65 price point. It looks really nice, and I don't know, I almost like the Alter Ego side a little bit better. Color-wise, Natasha's formula is definitely better. I just feel like her eyeshadows, you don't have to like put much effort in to work with them. I don't have to like double dip like I did with the Alter Ego palette, and she definitely does have a really great formula, and it just makes it a lot easier and quicker to do my eyeshadow with, and the eyeshadows blend really smooth. Sometimes with the Aurora palette it can take a little bit more time with blending, but to get basically the same look you just have to take a little bit more time. I do think it is worth it to get the Aurora over Natasha if you guys are wanting it. So I feel like this is a really great dupe. I will have the link if you guys want to purchase either palette down below. With the Alter Ego, I do have a 10% off code if you guys want to use that. I'll put that here and also in the description box, but I'm really impressed. I really want to try my other Alter Ego palettes that I have. I haven't really given them a good chance. I think I tried the gold palette from them like once. That was a dupe for Natasha Denona Gold, and I wasn't a huge fan of the mattes in it. The dark brown, at least, I preferred my Natasha, but I do kind of want to do another look with that and really compare them together and see if the looks come out the same again. So I want to definitely put more use into those palettes because I've been so bad at that this year. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Let me know which palette you thought was better. Are you guys planning to pick up this one? Do you already own the Natasha? What is your thoughts? And I will talk to you guys later. Bye guys.